we're inside farmers markets.
The homegrown ones, are they yours then, or?
Are you really buying direct from the farm, or are they feeding you lies?
What's the farm called?
Right there.
Cornif.
So that's Cornif produce right over there. Not a family farm after all.
Tracking down the truth.
Consumers are paying a premium for your product because they think that you grew it. Are you ripping people off?
This is your marketplace. This is probably where you think food from your local farmer's market comes from. But Lauren Nurse wants you to know the truth.
I think people go to the market to have relationships with farmers, and they think that the people that they're buying the food from are farmers, like me.
And she's not alone.
My name is Sam McLean. I've been farming for 27 years.
These farmers are letting you in on an industry secret. The people you're buying from at your market may not be farmers at all.
I think it's just being misled or deceived, and it doesn't set right with me.
People at the market don't know that, and they're buying that food and they're being lied to. So it's a real issue, and I'm actually surprised that it's not talked about more, and I'm actually surprised that, people don't know. People don't know.
I'm one of those people. I shop at farmers markets all the time.
You selling a lot of berries though today?
And I had no idea there may be people who didn't actually grow the food themselves.
Can I try one of your berries? Yes, of course. Yeah.
They're called resellers, and we're told they're not always upfront about it.
All good for your health.
So our plan?
This is it coming up here.
Visit as many markets as we can across Ontario.
Just going to turn all this on.
These markets are a billion-dollar industry, but largely unregulated.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
So we're gonna ask each vendor what they grow.
I'm trying to go local today. Thank you.
And then see if their claims check out.
The homegrown ones, are they yours then, or?
Well, I don't farm anymore.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
It doesn't take long for us to start getting suspicious. At a busy market in downtown Toronto, this vendor advertises his produce as homegrown.
Quite early for tomatoes?
They're done in a greenhouse, so.
Okay.
Fine, for field.
Added bonus, it's chemical-free.
This is from your place?
He says it's theirs. But we spot boxes with a different name under the table. And when we call the name on that box, we discover it leads back to a wholesaler who says those tomatoes weren't sold as pesticide-free. The owner later says he tries to label produce that isn't his. That wasn't the only vendor, it seems, is trying to mislead us.
So is this stuff from your place?
Like the asparagus.
The asparagus?
Tomatoes are ours.
Nice.
They're out of the greenhouse.
What's the farm called?
Cornif. Cornif.
At this market, the vendor says the name of his family farm is Cornif, but we saw produce with that name at least 3 other markets. The other place we spot Cornif is at the grocery store.
So that's Cornif produce right over there. Not a family farm after all. In fact, Cornif is a large-scale wholesaler, and you can find them right here at Ontario's food terminal. So when we follow up with the owner of that stall, they won't comment. And they won't tell us if they grow anything at all.
Over time, it's become much harder work, needing that much larger acreage, and some people have found it easier to just go to the terminal and bring the produce in. Okay, we have some pollen in these cells up here. My name is Astrid Mansky. We gather honey in the Otonabee Township and east. You're going to be the smoker now. People are coming not for the grocery store. They could go to the grocery store if they wanted that.
But at market after market, we find stickers usually seen at the grocery store. And even then, some vendors claim the produce is theirs.
Is it all local?
What do you think about it?
As in, have you grown it on your farm?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
But the sticker we spot here and at other markets all belong to the same producer.
Red Sun, Canada.
So that's who we're tracking down next. Red Sun is a multinational company based in Kingsville, Ontario. There's over 1,700 greenhouses here.
This total farm, I think, is around 27 acres.
Oh, wow.
This is not where most people think their local farmers market food is coming from.
Yeah, you see the temperature change?
Oh, yeah, it's much cooler in here.
Red Sun President Jim DeMena doesn't like hearing vendors are passing off his produce as their own.
I have a little trouble with that. We spend a lot of money and time growing our products. We're well over $1 million an acre. So it's not just I think I'll be a greenhouse grower today. That's a serious number.
Most of their product is sold directly to grocery stores. Produce that doesn't make the cut is sold off, cheaper.
It might be misshapen, it might be too small, or maybe even too big. So that finds its way to a wholesale market, and maybe somebody would pick that up, buy that from a wholesaler, and then in turn sell it to a farmer's market or something like that.
At some markets, we also find wholesale produce that's not from Canada at all.
Got cucumbers and peppers and tomatoes and stuff in already? Hey, got them in
Southern Ontario.
This vendor says these peppers are local, but the sticker leads back to a large grower in Mexico. The vendor later tells us he didn't know. Hard to believe, but we find lots of international produce at so-called local farmers markets.
So where are those from? Those are from the States. Okay.
So far in our test, we found reselling at 8 out of the 10 markets we visited. Some resellers are upfront, but at 4 markets, we catch vendors twisting the truth. Our last stop is Peterborough's Saturday Market. It's one of the largest farmers markets in the province. It's also at the center of a battle between farmers and resellers. Headlines in the local paper highlight the fight that's been brewing. When we head in, we're not sure what to expect.
Everything's come off your orchard then?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
We visit a range of vendors and get a range of answers.
They're all local, right from Lindsay and Arnold.
Kent Farms is one of the largest vendors with 2 large stalls. One run by James Kent.
So you got peppers in already?
My neighbor grows in a greenhouse. He buys all of his stuff from me, so I kind of return the favor.
The other by Brent Kent.
Which stuff out of this have you guys grown?
We grew the tomatoes,
Tomatoes.
beets, cucumbers.
They tell us everything is grown by them or neighboring farms. But after seeing stickers like these again
Yeah, these are huge, these ones.
Yeah, jumbo.
and again,
So these are yours? Yep, great.
we've got doubts.
Where's your farm?
Newcastle.
It's time to check things out for ourselves.
When you drive up the 115, there's like the 3rd and 4th and 5th concessions.
Yep.
We're on all those concessions.
So there it is. So this is the property record check, which says that all of this along here, and there is the Kents. Just corn. Wow, not a whole lot here other than tractor beds. It's hard to know if we're seeing everything for sure because I can't see beyond those trees, but the only crop I can see is corn.
We stay on the Kent's Trail,
They're coming through the barriers now.
and our investigation heads south of the border, where reselling could mean jail time.
We're trying to prevent fraud.
This is your marketplace. Fresh from the farm or fresh live. We're tracking the food you buy at farmers markets back to its source. For Lauren Nurse, that leads to her farm just outside Peterborough, Ontario. But for other vendors, we've discovered that trail could lead to the Ontario Food Terminal, Canada's largest wholesaler.
Is everyone there?
I'm still here.
We're here early, the day before Peterborough's Saturday market,
Here, guys, I've got a pretty good shot through here with my camera. I'm going to use it.
to see if anyone familiar shows up.
Got a big Kent Farms logo on the back.
So, Tiff, they're coming through the barriers now.
Do you have a vantage on the back of the truck, Dave?
I'm shooting it right now.
There's James Kent. He's told us he grows what he sells, but the day before market, he isn't in the fields. He's here. The next day, we're at the market when the Kents arrive. We watch as boxes that look just like those loaded at the terminal get unloaded here. And it's not just his own stall James is stocking. He also makes deliveries to Brent Kent and another vendor at the market. Zucchinis are transferred into market-friendly bushels. Carrots unpacked from plastic. And this time, those stickers are peeled off. The market fills with shoppers, and we head in too.
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Thank you.
I'm looking at radishes. Are they grown nearby?
My neighbor is.
Your neighbor grows them?
Yeah.
And that's just a little bit down the road, right?
Down the road. Across.
Across the road.
Yeah, literally. Like he's across the field.
We found no evidence of radishes across from the Kents.
Everything across the street is just, I don't know, wild vegetation.
But we did see over half a dozen boxes of radishes the day before. Alongside them, a variety of produce, including zucchinis and peppers.
And you grow your zucchinis too, or is that your neighbor's best?
Oh,
They're yours?
yeah, this is the first batch of yellow. The second batch of cuttings of green.
Oh, okay. Do you have red, oh, I see red peppers down there? Yep. Okay. Do you grow those yourself? How much are they?
They're $2 each.
There's no difference between food that you buy at the grocery store and food at the farmer's market if it all comes from the food terminal. It's the same food. So people are being duped.
But there is a difference when it comes to price. The zucchinis and peppers the Kents were selling cost 50% more than what we found at local stores that same day. A higher price point, but still cheap enough to make it hard for farmers to compete.
It's our main sales venue. And so when someone is kind of essentially completely undercutting us at every step of the way, that really affects our bottom line.
For Sam and Astrid, it's personal. They sell at the Peterborough Saturday Farmers Market alongside the Kents.
It's important to the customers that a farmer's market be a farmer's market because they trust and believe without asking. And you break that trust, you break your customer base.
A farmer's market is for farmers, and that's who it should foster.
Farmers like Lauren. She sold at the Peterborough Farmers Market too, but after one season was told there was no longer room for her.
I'm mad. I want to be feeding my community in Peterborough. You know, I'm a farmer and I should be selling in the farmer's market. It's kind of preposterous.
Across Canada, there isn't much protecting farmers or shoppers from false claims. But it doesn't have to be this way. We head to California, where reselling is against the law. Inspectors visit each market here 4 times a year. Today, they're at the Santa Monica Market in LA, looking for vendors breaking the law.
Occasionally, we'll find exotic pests that aren't known from California.
Ed Williams heads the investigation department for LA County.
What he'll do is he'll just take a look at what's on the table, verify it against what's on the certificate.
Each farmer must be certified to sell what they grow.
People even have their clipboards hanging.
Right. The certificates are required to be posted where people can see them.
For people who break the rules, what are the penalties?
There's both a monetary penalty possible and a suspension.
You could even face up to 6 months in jail. So what does Ed think of our test results?
We've found people who are selling produce that they didn't grow, but they're telling us that they did.
Well, that's what we see on occasion here. We definitely see that, and to me, that's nothing but fraud.
To crack down on fraud, Ed and his team don't just check the markets. They take their inspections all the way to the farm.
Surprisingly, one of our inspectors actually found leeks. They pulled one up and there were no roots.
Someone had just taken leeks and stuck them in the dirt, basically.
And just stuck them in the dirt.
Oh my God.
Kanji Yasatomi sells at the Santa Monica Farmers Market.
Kanji, do you have any new additions? No new additions.
What Greg's doing right now is he's actually seeing that there's signs that people have been working in this area.
I pick about roughly 50 pounds or so per week.
Why do you guys go to all this trouble to have guys like Greg come out here and check things like dandelion?
To make sure that the consumer is not getting ripped off. People are willing to pay a premium price for a product at farmers markets, sometimes 2 times as much as what you would pay in a regular grocery store. We're trying to prevent fraud.
Who's looking out for shoppers here?
We prefer to work with farmers markets.
That sounds like a slap on the wrist. Consumers are paying a premium for your product because they think that you grew it. Are you ripping people off?
This is your marketplace. The real deal on your marketplace. Our investigation into farmers markets found reselling at 70% of the markets we visited. At half of those, vendors made claims that didn't check out. Shoppers at this market don't like our results.
That's a straight up scam. It becomes almost like a marketing ploy, which feels immoral to me.
I could go to the supermarket if I wanted to get food from mass producers.
But in Peterborough, Brent and James Kent told us they grew produce they picked up at the food terminal. We've been reaching out to them for weeks. We've been given no answers, so we're heading back inside the market.
Hi there. I'm Charles Diagra with CBC's Marketplace.
How you doing, Charles?
I'm well, thanks. Listen, we've been trying to get a hold of you, and we'd just like to know why you're misleading people, saying that you grew produce when you didn't grow it, didn't even come from your farm. Why aren't you being transparent about reselling? Because consumers are paying a premium for your product because they think that you grew it. Are you ripping people off?
Why would you say something like that?
We've got great food.
I totally understand that, but
James Kent doesn't want to talk, but we may get some answers yet.
Sorry, I'm on the board of directors here, and I just want to know what's the issue.
Mark Jones represents the market board. He says they've chosen to include reselling since produce isn't available year-round.
The very simple reason is economics, and the customers will decide.
Well, there may well be a case for reselling, but it's the issue about being honest and open and transparent about it.
We know that transparency is an issue, and we've been working on that with our farmers, okay? That takes time.
So consumers here will have to wait. As for the Kents, a few days after our interview, we get an email from James. He says he does grow some crops, but also sells local produce from the terminal because he believes it benefits his customers. But this isn't the only Ontario market where vendors misrepresented what they sell. So, our next stop is the Ontario Legislature.
And you shop at that market a lot?
I do, yeah.
Jeff Leal is the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Affairs. We show him what we found.
If somebody witnesses that kind of activity, they could file a complaint with the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs.
Well, what do you think
and
of
we will
that
investigate.
this is what's happening in Ontario right now?
Every time we receive a complaint, we'll certainly make sure that we investigate.
If you do an investigation and you determine there was misrepresentation, what's the next step?
We prefer to work with farmers markets to get it resolved.
So that sounds like a slap on the wrist.
That's because there's not much more the ministry can do, not without rules like those in California.
Do you feel like there needs to be legislative change here, something with a little bit more teeth?
And you made a good suggestion to us today to look at the California model, and I make a commitment to do that.
We'll be watching. In the meantime, at your next trip to the market, here's how to put vendors' claims to the test for yourself.
The things that they're selling are not in season. Zucchinis in June, strawberries in early June.
And behind there are the boxes with the labels on them. If that's somebody else's name on that box and that person didn't grow it.
Uniformity and perfectness. I mean, the peppers are all the same size, all the same shape.
Start asking the right questions and start seeking out the real farmers.
You know, the best question to ask is, can we visit?
If you don't get an invite, you can probably bet that they're not farming.
And if you think you see misrepresentation in Ontario, the minister says, give him a call.
The 1-800 complaint line is 1-877-424-1300.
They're supposed to be free to try, but these little bottles of anti-aging cream are giving Canadians new wrinkles.
I am outraged at this company's poor business ethics.
Even the dragons are getting dragged in.
They're not entrepreneurs, they're shysters.
We'll show you how they do it.
It was supposed to be for free, and now I'm enrolled in something.
Go in search of who's behind it. And we ask, why can't anyone stop it?